Hey guys, for those who don't know me, it's me JJ. For those who do know me, it's me JJ. Okay, so a lot of people have been asking me in the comments how I got here. How did I get to Curitiba and Paraná in the south of Brazil? And I'll tell you, literally how I got here, this whole exchange experience, from beginning to end is super long, and I can really divide it into two parts. So I'm just gonna say the second part to how I got chosen for this region. But if you want to hear the first part of how I even got into Rotary and how this experience even started for me, click that like button. If I see it gets a lot of likes and people actually want to hear this story, which I don't think anyone really wants to hear this story, but if you guys do, I'll make it and I'll show you guys. I'll just give the part of how I got to this point. So with Rotary, there was 2 rounds of interviews that I had. So for the second round of interviews, I found out what country I was going to. And I had Brazil as my #1 country. And so I did it was a 4-hour interview process. And technically the people who were interviewing me, Rotary, chose for me by my personality and the answers to the questions they asked me and stuff. So at the end of the day, it wasn't really up to me, I was saying, and it's different for everywhere around in the country and around in the world. I know people from my country whose story is completely different, because it just depends how many people you have and just how Rotary works. It's very different. But for me, I just got to list 3 countries I wanted to go to, and then they chose which one they thought was good for me. So I had the interviews that day, and then that night, our youth exchange officer, who's the kind of person in charge of all of us, called me, and it was at 10, and I was this close to going to bed. So yeah, he said, "You're going to Brazil," and I'm just kind of trying to get, I'm kind of skipping the details. If you guys want to hear the details, I'll put it in my first part because it's actually really funny how I found out. But anyways, I found out I was going to Brazil, and so the whole thing was that I was for sure going to Brazil, and because they thought my interviews, my personality matched. But the whole thing was that we didn't know where in Brazil, and Brazil's a really big country, so it could have been anywhere. So it ended up being a friend knew a friend knew a friend, that kind of situation. So it was someone that they knew someone in Rotary in Curitiba, and that's basically how it happened. And so I found that out in the beginning of 2017, I think, maybe even before that. I was cool, and then I was googling Curitiba stuff, but the whole thing was I may be going to Curitiba. They didn't know, but I ended up coming to Curitiba. I didn't get to choose. All I got to kind of choose was my country, Brazil, but the region I didn't get to choose. Where I was living, my host families, none of that I got to choose. But yeah, I guess that's not really as big of a story as I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, I guess that's really it. I'm really glad I'm here. On my way, when I was flying to Curitiba, a lot of people were saying, "Wow, you're so lucky," because Curitiba is a beautiful city and it's such a rich region. And yeah, so I guess that's it. I didn't think it was gonna be that easy to tell. There's your answer. So if you want to hear the full story, the full beginning, which is emotional, then like this video, and I will for sure. Just a quick video, I guess. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Please subscribe. Thank you to all the new subscribers I have. I hope you enjoy this video. Oh, and please follow me on Instagram. And yeah, that's really it. Peace out. Ciao.